Well, should I tell this one about Jerry? I've got to tell this one. This is one of my favorite stories about Jerry. So Jerry had a special way about, those of you that have known Jerry, at times he seems to have had a challenge with those who were in law enforcement. And when Jerry went off to the service, that didn't seem to change too quickly there. He wrote his first letter home to Mom, and he was writing home, and he says, "Dear Mom," he says, "it's been 1 week since we left home." He says, "and I'm writing this to you from the break." He said, "when I got down here to camp," he said, "they took us in there and they shaved all my hair off, and then they gave me this thing that's called a uniform. And Mom, it doesn't fit anywhere right." He says, "the armpits are just a little bit too tall for my shorts." He says, "and these things they call shoes, they're combat boots, they don't fit me right at all." He says, "but what really gets me is that they wake us up at 5 o'clock in the morning and have us yelling around outside at 5 in the morning. I cannot understand that, Mom, at all." He said, "the only thing that kept me going all day was thinking that come Sunday we'd get to sleep in." He said, "well, they'd get us up and they'd march us all day, and Saturday night the sergeant came in and he said, I've got some good news and some bad news for you fellas." He says, "the good news is that we're not going to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. He says, "the bad news is we're going to get up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning." He says that we're going to march 15 miles to church." He said, "Mom," he says, it just pushed the wind right out of my sails because I knew I was going to get to sleep in and we're going to have to get up at 4 o'clock, and you know how it is at 4 in the morning." He said, "and we walked 15 miles to church." He said, I'd never been to one of these Protestant churches before. I didn't know how they did things, And so, they sat us all in there, and one of the things that really made me feel bad, Mom, about what they did to us in the Army, they took my name away. They took my name away and they gave me a number. And they said my number is number 198. Says I didn't like that number, but I like my name Jerry better. But anyway, they set us down in the field, and I was feeling kind of sorry for myself. And this guy got up in the front, and he stood up. He says, "Number 198. Are you weak and weary? Are you tired and heavy laden?" And Mom, I jumped right up there in church, and I said, "You're darn cute I am." I said, "and you're the first man in this man's army that's had the common decency to ask me how I feel."